To call upon stage Mr. Ramesh Loganathan, General Partner, SucSEED Ventures, and Mr. Ravi Eswarapu, CEO, Ratan Tata Innovation Hub, Visakhapatnam. Dr. Ravi Saripalle, Director of Entrepreneurship, GITAM.
Hello. Hello. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. We have a nice samosa and very nice tea, and that warm-up has been slightly ignited by my colleague, Mr. Loganathan. I think it's a good last session that we have today. Firstly, I'm really wanted to thank Sridhar Garu for organizing this great event today. I'm the son of the soil. I believed in Godavari and Kakinada. I have started my company in Kakinada since 2010, even though I started it in Bangalore in 2004. I believed that Tier 2 and Tier 3 ecosystems are going to grow, and I believed it in 2010. And we come back to Kakinada, started Krify, and actively engaging with people. I'm mentioning this with a high regard because this is the reality I wanted to see in the future, and after 15 years, I see the reality. So with that excitement, I would like to start the session. Being an entrepreneur, right from my engineering college, GITAM college, I studied in GITAM. In May 2001, in my first year of engineering, I was fortunate to invent a technology by which one can send SMS message from internet to mobile phones. So that has actually created me an opportunity to start my own venture where advertisers was coming to me saying that they will put advertisements on my website. So as a first year and second year student, I was earning money, and that actually made me forcefully an entrepreneur. And today I'm sharing a stage with three eminent personalities on my favorite subject, which is innovation as well as startups. So another interesting fact, all three of them have very wonderful academic and industrial experience as well. I mean, they started themselves in academics and then subsequently seen opportunity in startups. And I'm telling you, most of the people out here I know, how many of you are really willing to start your own companies? Maybe say after 10 years, you wanted to have your own companies. Can you please raise your hand? Wow, so many hands. Any more? Maybe we can get inspiration from this panel here, and then maybe we want to increase the hands up. Because working for a company, your earnings are limited. Today I know Ravi Eswarapu garu and then Ramesh Loganathan garu, they are very active in the entrepreneurial ecosystem, and this ball game not many people know. Maybe many people know starting a company, doing a business, working like a donkey, and then many people know in that trap they will just continue. But you see what they are doing, they are making other people to work and they are enjoying the support from the back end. I think I'm just setting up the stage for all of you. We're not just boring you with few discussions. Maybe you can participate at the end. Mr. Loganathan is general partner for SucSEED Ventures, and then I know he actually have a triple IT background. Mr. Loganathan, would you like to inspire us with a bit of your your background, and then maybe not many people know here, so maybe that helps.
So, I mean, you said moved from academics to startups. Actually, it's the other way around. I was in the industry, and for a long time, my background is in software products. Worked in the Bay Area, and I moved back to Hyderabad to join a startup. In the early days of Java, there was a Hyderabad startup called Pramati that was making Java app servers in 99. When Java itself was new, server-side Java was not even a year old. And there were only 2 companies in the world making Java app servers, and one was in India and in Hyderabad. I was coming back to India at that time, and I got to know about this company, so I convinced my wife to move to Hyderabad instead of Bangalore and to just join the company. And there's things that happened moving to Hyderabad. And so I was in the software products, software industries. I mean, that's my background, product, specifically infrastructure products. Worked in database companies earlier and then Java app server companies. And through that got connected to IIIT. I was adjunct faculty in IIIT from 2002 till 2016. And by 7-8, I was very involved with academics. I was involved with IIT after a few years later when IIT started, and I started teaching in IIT as well, and involved with BITS on the incubator side. So from industry to academics kind of happened alongside. And startups is what happened in 2006-07. Started getting very involved with an NGO called Head Start Network. 16 of us started it, and across different cities. And we were doing early stage startup events in 2007-08. And got very involved with that. I was one of the 16 people that started it, and I was anchoring the Hyderabad.
Wow.
And then IIIT Incubator started in 2008. One of the oldest academic incubators in the country is IIIT Incubator. TF happened on our campus because of our incubator. 8 years later, TF started. And so I was very involved with that incubator as well. And then slowly, I just liked, you referred to money. I don't think any of us are making any money out of this. But the fun is unlimited. That I fully agree. I say this, I have a ringside seat, ring being where all the action happens, research-led innovation, startups. I have a ringside seat and a loud mouth. That's how I describe myself. And very happy to be getting the chance to do whatever I'm doing.
Amazing, amazing. So the other panelist is Ravi Eswarapu. We are so fortunate to have a person who has been in industry. He was IT Association first president, and then subsequently, now he heads the A-Hub in Andhra University. I mean, he has modeled how actually you can convert a traditional university to also have that innovation hub, and how you can promote that hub. Ravi, just some insights from you about your background.
Good evening, Ravi Eswarapu. Thanks Sridhar and the team, and thanks Krishna, Reddy Garu. 2 people who do good friends on both the sides. Okay, started with my engineering from Vizag, then management degree, and then a research in management, IIM Bangalore ISC, and then worked in manufacturing for most of the time, L&T, Castrol, Dunlop, and then after my, IIM Bangalore and IIC, then I worked as executive assistant to Chandrakant Varla. So been in the boardrooms and would always used to, the late 90s, always used to have this thought, probably one day I would be sitting and then probably investing. Then that experience, then I was a management consultant, process engineering consultant, like for Mahindra's, moving them from the Bolero to the Scorpio to setting up the XUV platforms. Then went to the US, worked at GE, General Motors, came back. I was always wanting to come back to Vizag and start something or do something there in Vizag. So reverse migrated back to Vizag, was the first employee at Satyam, which later became Tech Mahindra. Was when Tech Mahindra took over. Eventually, slowly, what I've done a little bit of radical stuff at Vizag, and was handling a little bit of tier 2 strategy, which is a low-cost delivery systems. That eventually grew up to be the chief of quality for Tech Mahindra. Moved out in 2012. 2 ventures that I started, built, sold my stake, made some money, came out, now invested in about 14 startups. But now what I'm passionate about is incubation, startups, innovation, and all this stuff. So I currently, AHub, which is probably the first India's financially self-sustainable incubator. 2, I run the NASSCOM Center of Excellence in AI and IoT. Got STPI onto the campus, but it probably should be operational June 26. But AU itself is building a 2 lakh square feet of incubation space, which would make it India's largest university incubator. But around 207 startups as of today, about 88% revenue generating for a place like Vizag is an achievement in itself. I currently have taken over as the CEO for Ratan Tata Innovation Hub Vizag, which covers 6 districts. It's more like North Andhra.
Amazing.
Yeah, so 14 startups that I've invested in. Usually ticket size 20 lakhs to 1 crore. Done a fair investment, so there's a little bit of money. So I was a co-founder, I'm an investor, I'm in incubation. So sometimes the ringside view, sometimes getting into the ring, getting beaten up, all that stuff. So if it happens, it's learning while you are sort of having the fun in a very close view, but you're also sometimes I get a little bit excited, put on my gloves, get into the ring, get beaten up, or sometimes have a little bit of wins and I come out. So enjoying the game as of now. So.
Amazing, Ravi. So I think that's beautiful. Now, the third panelist we have is academician, but he always sounds more practitioner for me. I mean, generally academicians close their doors and focus more on the subject matter, details. But these amazing panelists we have here is more in terms of learning, and every time I meet him, I learn so much of knowledge from him. Ravi Saripalle is Professor of Entrepreneurship, currently working at GITAM University, and then, I think I want Ramesh.
So basically, I'm not an academician. In fact, I was working with Wipro for almost 14 years. 97 to 2011, I was with Wipro. In 2008, I was actually inspired by Anil Gupta of IIM Ahmedabad. He started the grassroots innovation movement. I thought I would actually join his movement, Honeybee Network, and came down to our part of the North Coastal Andhra, and actually working with the grassroots innovators, honestly. And the idea was, we started a small startup. Idea was bring these grassroots innovators to the mainstream business. That was the startup, but miserably failed. I could not able to succeed in that. Then finally, anyway, I had a PhD at that time, so I joined college and started the first incubator, probably in India itself. In 2009, probably the first incubator we started in Gayatri Vijaya Parishad, and ran it for till 2024. In between, in 2017, before the ChatGPT came, we started our AI startup, which is skill2030.com. It's a completely AI-powered, avatar-driven, total interview automator. But again, we came too early when AI disruption is still happening right now. I think we started way before LLMs were non-existent, and we thought we'll totally completely automate the interview process, but I think we invested heavily into the early stage, so we failed, and recently we closed it also. We thought, okay, any failure founder would actually become a teacher, right? That is how I actually accidentally became a teacher now. So
Amazing. Now, we have almost 70% of student to a kind of people who have graduated already. And then another 30% of people who have their own engagements and doing. So I want it to be really helpful for them while we follow the structure suggested, AI first innovations and startup, kind of democratizing AI. But we will give some of your practical examples in your real life case. I think that adds real value to them. We try our best to inspire them with the examples in our real life. I think that is the motive. If through our discussion, if at least one of them want to come forward and start something, our goal achieved. Okay. So I will start because Ramesh have already given some insight initially. I will start with Ravi. Ravi, first of all, you have good experience in Vizag, where in tier 2 cities you have built this startup ecosystem. So how do you see that these founders are now leveraging AI, traditional startup to now leveraging AI, and how is this really helpful? Is it really helping? Is AI really helping the startup ecosystem to grow?
Okay. I would probably call AI as a level playing field. Doesn't matter whether you're tier 1, tier 2.
Get data, and he was stressing I'm getting quality data. And data is available on the internet. But from your practitioner perspective, when you're guiding these startups, have you seen how these people are actually using AI to innovate themselves, and any case examples that you see?
I've seen a lot of startups now coming up in the AI space. Like I run the NASCOM Center of Excellence in AI and IoT, which is out of Vizag, and it's there in 4 cities in India, Bangalore, Vizag, Gurgaon, and Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar.
Right.
So out of 2 are in tier 2 and 2 are in, you can say, tier 1 sort of places. And tier 2s are coming up with startups which are equally as or as good. Like if you talk about something in the AI space, that probably I can talk of something that I have rights to, which is I've invested in, which is Dreambot, which is like what Ramesh was talking about. So it's basically a lot of one part of AI it's a robotic startup. It's a robotic kitchen for retail with multifunctional, multi-arms. But the AI part of it is you take a photograph, so let's say dal makhani. It identifies that it's dal makhani and you say you need to cook it for 4 people. Then it actually, what it does is first it checks if there is all the ingredients. So what is that? Based on a picture, what is that? It identifies, goes to the internet, identifies that it's dal makhani. And based on that, it also then goes, I'm just giving you an example, I know it's a long answer. Then goes, it sees if all the ingredients are available, because it automatically picks up those things. Then that's a check done. In enough quantities for 4 people, check done. Then third is then it goes to the internet, brings up a relevant recipe and immediately converts that recipe into mission instructions with no human intervention, and it cooks. And so there is no need for predefined. So what happens with this LLM is no need for a predefined menu, but create your own menu on the go. So that sort of a thing. That's happening from Vizag. So there are things like a fintech startup, again I've invested in, which is basically, this is a complete this thing of when you say, let's say a loan syndication. A person going and trying to, it's just in a matter of 15, 20 seconds, it gives you all your government data, just on a phone, just by giving your phone number and doing an OTP verification, which you do and give a consent. It brings all your data, which is your phone, all your government data with respect to including your vehicle data, to your where you stay, then data of where actually your real address is, not the other address, like your, based on what you order from and all. So multiple things, including CIBIL scores to crime data, to where you do, what you have done in the past. It goes to even if it's for, let's say, corporate loan. Okay. It goes even go to the ROC data, sees all the companies you and your family members are associated, any, bankruptcies, everything. It gives you a complete picture in just a matter of 10 to 15 seconds. Yeah. And it will also predict whether you will pay on time, will you not, how much can be given, what days should you put your EMIs and all that. These are all happening for tier 2 cities. But what happens is as they grow and they mature, for need of 2 things, usually people will shift from a tier. The idea germination happens in a tier 2, but they might move to a tier 1 for need of maybe talent sometimes, or sometimes in search of an investor who would say, work from a tier 1. So it could be this thing, or for ecosystem related issues. That's
Thank you, Ravi. So we'll go to Ravi Saripalle. So Dr. Ravi Saripalle. Ravi, so one way, there is this concept called democratizing AI innovations across India. So when you look, can you explain what is that, briefly, and then subsequently, can you also say how academia, industry, and government can collaborate to make it happen?
Yeah. So the first part is the democratization. The second part is how the collaboration system should work. In fact, if you look at the statistics, more than 85% of the AI companies today are located in 5 cities in India. True. Right? It is not about the location, it is access gap itself, right? That is how the reality of the life. Having said that, recently when Google announced data center in Vizag, immediately I actually tweeted to our Honorable Minister Lokesh, right? So I was only talking about the 3-tier architecture. What we immediately should do. The euphoria is good. I think we have some Google, the good name is there. But the follow-up, I think we need to do something big. Right, at the 3-tier architecture, the first layer is the data layer, where government would actually spend some infrastructure, industry is anyway storage and compute infrastructure, all that is there. And that is something has to be accessible to the researchers, academia, probably I think industry again. Right, I think that is the first part. I think they are already doing. I think in case if they have not, they need to kind of strengthen. The second part is the design layer, right? Where the designers, the social scientists, or the researchers again with the human in loop, right? I think the human interventions or design thinking level, that kind of layer has to be set in. At a highest layer, of course, where some decisions are to be there, that is where the actual use cases should come in. Unless we have these two layers built up, right, the final layer would not succeed at all, right? And then ultimately, all three coherently should working. See, if that is the kind of setup done, probably I think we as a tier 2 city could actually succeed in the AI contest, right? Otherwise, probably I think we'll make some inroad, but again, the challenges would continue.
Amazing. Ramesh ji, what are the emerging AI first opportunities do you think you see and you advise for people to embrace?
See, in general, I mean, I do agree with Ravi that at least AI is a level playing field in many ways, right? I don't think we're even talking about Bangalore or Hyderabad and Vizag or Kakinada. We're talking about US, Europe, and India, even at that level, right? So to that extent, the knowledge access is there. So which means if you understand the technologies and the possibilities, the opportunities are nearly equal, right? What you can do, because we don't have as much resources in terms of compute or funds and such. But otherwise, technology is a level playing field. That's one good thing, right? Now, AI, in my view, AI is incidental. I don't think anybody should go after saying like, I want to build an AI startup. I don't think that need to be the goal.
Okay.
Right? If you say like, the problem is the key. Anytime a startup, if they pick the right problem, that this problem is worth solving. These are the users that have the problem. These are the gaps or the inadequacies of the current solutions. And I have a way of solving it. That is more important. Somebody should not be saying like, I'll go do an AI startup and then see what to solve. It's okay in some ways, but that may lead to something good, but they may not be the most ideal way to do a startup. To say that, okay, look at problems, some problem that's worth solving, and that problem requires some amount of AI is probably okay. But the starting point cannot be AI, right? I think we need to understand what problem is worth solving, and then once you identify a problem, then the tools are available, frameworks are available, there are a lot of open source platforms, and you can experiment quickly, right? But at the end of the day, the problem is key, and the problem should be worth solving. And so I know it's easy to say, right? It's much easier said than done, right? As a professor, as an advisor, as a mentor, I can say this, but I know it's not easy. But that's the key. Look for those problems that are worth solving, and then try to solve them.
While I agree to your point, I also wanted to mention another pattern that I have seen personally. So I've seen Indian ecosystem where you have these tier 1s and tier 2s. The same thing is also happening in other countries. For example, in UK, the way London behaves, the way Manchester, the way Birmingham has a bit difference. It's like Hyderabad and then kind of Vizag. So, I mean, it is open for three of you. So just wanted to understand, do you have any international models in your mind that inspires innovation beyond one place or one, so rather say metros? Do you see any models that you wanted to take and talk?
See, if US, I was telling somebody in the US, not now, some years back, saying that actually, I mean, you should not be having somebody. I think if I remember somebody in Austin and or Denver, I forget, one of the two. And you should not be having a problem. You have a very rich ecosystem. They said no. We said like when I was comparing Hyderabad with Bangalore, I think Bangalore has a much richer support ecosystem. And like while at the end of the day it shouldn't matter, but it does matter to some extent. Then he was saying it's the same in the US. Like when I was saying something about Hyderabad, Bangalore, also saying like Bay Area is so rich and you can't get the same thing in Bangalore or Hyderabad. He said you forget Bangalore, Hyderabad, you can't get the Bay Area ecosystem even in Austin or Denver.
Is it?
Yes, they said it is nowhere the same.
Oh.
The vibrancy and the kind of people, whether it has been successful entrepreneurs that have turned angels or the tier 1 VC funds or some of the top corporate strategy and other tech leaders that are there that come to Bay Area. They said that amount of richness is not there anywhere.
So actually I was working with Nokia for some time. I think I was managing Nokia account in India. And I was in Finland. I got one consulting opportunity with Nokia. So the consulting opportunity is something different. It is not regular IT consulting. I had to interview all the Nokia's senior people and see what is that can be outsourced to India. It's a kind of outsourcing consulting. When I was talking to all these people, right, the one common thread or one common pattern which I observed is, in Finland, they considered there are only two natural resources. One is a wood, second one is Nokia. That is the kind of affiliation with the Nokia, with the Finland, and with that kind of city, right? So that kind of a heart connection somewhere I think has to be there. Something has to grow. Probably I think traffic and all that can be mitigated, but if you have that connection, maybe model works out in that fashion.
Sure.
Okay. I think we sometimes get driven by tech. AI is a horizontal, and we know it cuts across and verticals. I think most of the countries, what I have observed is they're sector specific. If I'm talking ports and logistics, you have certain cities. If you're talking medtech, there's a few places. The medtech life sciences are specific places. You're taking hospitality, GovTech, whether you're talking petroleum, you're talking manufacturing, they are clusters where you have to go and finally you have to implement this thing. You could, wherever the solutions initially could be germinated, but implementation would have to be distributed. Sometimes these are like what Ramesh was talking about. There are clusters depending upon the industry. Tech, yeah, because it's Silicon Valley, but not everything is tech. Finally, whatever you're developing is for the sector. So AI is, like what he was saying, is generic. It's across. So just like you don't say I'm an AI startup, because when I was talking to startups, I was saying one is in a robotics and one is in the fintech space using AI. So it's the other way around. So depending, if you're saying fintech, you would go to probably now Bombay, but in a tier 2, like Gift City is coming up. So something like that. So if you're talking petrochemical, you would probably still be it's Vizag, Bombay or something like that. If you're saying defense, it's again Karwar, Vizag, something like that. So it is again Navy, Air Force, different things. So you probably have different clusters depending upon the sector for which these applications are, and that's probably, it's a good idea. Usually in countries like Japan, China, this thing I've seen innovation clusters develop around that specific base of the sector.
Thank you. Okay, so in the interest of the time, even though I have some more questions, I would say like this. I mean, most of the others, our presenters, speakers have told that you come up with, or you don't focus on the solution, rather focus on identifying the problem or come up with those use cases. I think keep that in mind. All these gentlemen are on LinkedIn. Please follow them, and if you have questions, they are the right people to answer you. Wish you good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I call upon Mr. Srihari Garu on stage to do the honors for the speakers? So ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a big round of applause. Can I call upon our gold sponsor, Daisy, for a quick note?